Let me ask you a question. Are you a lesbian? And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 9, Episode 13. Just too much. It's just too much. That was the start of when I was watching the program and I was like, seriously? Now, how much have I talked about this in the last 2, 3 seasons? I mean, we're going to date all the way back to when Claudia was on the show. This lesbian question and this lesbian thing in the atmosphere of the Atlanta Housewives. So whenever Marlo busted out with that, I'm like, are we finally going to get an answer? Probably not. I think the easier answer is anybody here who's not a lesbian, honey, raise their hands. Anyway, let me go start at the beginning. Okay, so Sheree and Marlo are actually talking, and Sheree's messy ass ends up telling Marlo about the conversation between her and Phaedra and Porsha when the little blow up happened. And Marlo's like, okay. And Sheree's like, I don't know if I should say something, but I'm just so tired of being around and everybody's grinning and smiling in each other's face and they're talking about each other. Okay. I mean, it is what it is. We've already crossed the bridge. We know Sheree's a messy bitch. That is what it is. Sheree's always been a messy bitch, all the way back from when the party with Nene in the very first episode of the show ever. That's just Sheree. Don't equip Sheree with anything if you don't want any problems. Okay, that's just the way it is. So I said, all right, well, we know this is going to get started. So after that, shortly thereafter, we get Marlo and Kenya get into it really bad. They had a campfire that evening, and they just went at it. It was kind of ugly. They started in, they'll start in and they have those little leading questions, and it gets very uncomfortable. And they start going back and forth. They were talking about the party and how she didn't invite her to the party. And Marlo's like, yeah, my feelings were hurt. It was what it was because you're fake, and they just start going at each other. And child Porsha was sitting over there instigating and kikiing. I said, remember, karma. You kikiing and you doing too much. And before you get your ass back to the city, I promise you that shit gonna come back on you. But they went on and on and on that got there. Marlo talked about Kenya's earrings, told her she needed to go to a dermatologist. She talked about her eyelashes, told her they was too thick and they was cheap. She needed to buy better ones. And then they continued on. Of course, she called Marlo a prostitute and the whole 9 yards. Really, and none of that's even a read. Like, really, like she was like throwing things up and trying to tear Kenya down with things she knew bothered Kenya. Because Kenya has self-esteem issues. Kenya has issues about the fact that she don't have the best skin. She has issues about, her persona. She wants to be dressed. She wants to be dressed well. She doesn't want people saying things. Kenya's she has some insecurity. She does, even to be a beauty queen and all that. And she threw the prostitute thing out there. The prostitute thing is not a big deal. Marlo's paid. So whatever it is that she's doing, the bitch is paid. And I don't think that prostitute thing really bothers Marlo. So when they throw that at her, it just like rolls off her shoulder and then that bitch attacks you. She sure went right on around her and told her, she said, you know what? I don't even know why I'm arguing with you. Your mother doesn't even like you. Your mother doesn't like you. And you know why? You'd have to be a very evil person for even your mother not to like you. I said, oh my God. You knew that was like putting two nails in Kenya's coffin. That was mean as hell. And that's not the truth. But that's just, that you knew that that would penetrate Kenya's complete being. Mean. Mean. And I just laughed. I said, But see, Marlo's a bitch like me. If you don't want to get to it, don't get into it with me. Because if you get into it with me, I'm gonna get at your motherfucking ass. And I'm gonna get at you in a way. And I don't want to hear. Well, you didn't have to go that far. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Don't start. If you don't want to go all the way there, don't start. Don't get on the parkway if you don't want to go all the way to the mall. Anyway, so they did all that. Then they kind of squashed it. They went and they did the whole thing where they slept out. And you know what? If you just listen to them, there's always these lesbonic innuendos that are always thrown out. And there's usually one or two people that are always doing it. I'll give you a guess. Frick and Frank, the two P's, Porsha and Phaedra. Porsha, when they went camping, that night, later on that night, and that damn Sheree had told y'all she don't do bugs, she don't want shit crawling on her, and everybody was kind of nervous about that sleeping outside thing, but they did it. Marlo went on back. She walked back to the campgrounds and was like, fuck that shit. She gonna say, I've been drinking some motherfucking flat tummy tea, honey. She was a shitty mess. She took her ass out and she wasn't gonna be out there laying in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night giving ooh and shitting all over herself. So she went on back, child. I said, Lord have mercy. And in the morning they woke up and they were all feeling all refreshed and everything, and they had a bunch of different little things. They were going to a little breakfast. When they were getting up and getting out of the tents, did y'all hear Phaedra say, get on up, all you undercover lovers? Just pay attention, honey. The lesbonics in this little group is always at an all-time high, honey. I'm like, child, this is like worse than being at any gay function I've ever been at, honey. It's just out there. It's always being talked about. It's always being joked about. 10 minutes after they had breakfast, Phaedra says something about, she says, oh, look, Marlo's on trending topic. She brought her camel toe to the table. That's the new thing. I don't know where, I would love to know where that shit started. That a camel toe is the new, they even have panties made to make you look like you got a big old, thick old camel toe. That is so ugly. That is not cute. Who the hell wants some big old swollen pussy? That's just terrible. But anyway, I want to know why you're at the breakfast table and there's all kind of sausage and shit on the table and whatever fruit and all that, and you staring at Marlo's fucking pussy. Honey, I don't know about you, Phaedra, but your man be taking pickles one to the back. I mean, he take it all the way to the stem. Ow! That's okay. Y'all remember that, honey? When Apollo was deep throat pickles on his first season on here, he deep throat pickles and she's staring at camel toes, honey. Anyway, and Porsha always gets the joke. That's dykes, honey. That's all it is. Dykes. And ain't nothing wrong with being a dyke. The problem is you ain't admitting it. And them bitches is bulldaggers. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Anybody. And they not the only ones. Okay? Anyway, brother. So they get to the table, they're sitting there, and then they start talking about divorce. And somebody asked Phaedra about her divorce. Phaedra ain't never gonna give you a full answer about shit that's going on with her. So, oh yeah, we're almost done, this, that, thing, and the other. And then this, where I said this was unnecessary, Candy jumps in with that Mama Joyce information. Well, I thought that if somebody was in jail, you can get divorced within like 60 days. I don't know what's taking so long, this, that, and the other. But y'all ain't even on good terms, Candy. So why'd you even say anything? Just shut up and sit there. You was being a little bit messy, just a little bit. But They went through all that. Then Porsha jumps in. Again, Porsha and Phaedra. Porsha jumps in. Oh, well, no, he was contesting the divorce and all of that. Well, Porsha, why are you talking? Anybody talking about Cordell? They talking about Apollo. And Phaedra's sitting right there. She don't need you to add the 2 cents in. She obviously didn't want to talk about it, right? Okay. Anyway. Um, Cynthia sat down there. She says that she gets the crime or getting ready to tear up. She said, the only thing, I thought that when we go to sign the papers, that was going to give me the closure that I wanted, and I could put it all behind me. But Peter refused to go to the actual signing. And she was bothered by that. And I said, you know what, Cynthia? Bitch, you want to play victim. You're in a state where you want to play victim. And the thing is, you're being selfish because Peter doesn't want the divorce. You want the divorce. So for you to want to drag him in there and he's already at a point where he's like, I just ain't really feeling that. And you want to get in there and smear it in his face, basically. I'm divorcing you. That's a little selfish, don't you think? And then you sit over there crying. You're crying because he won't let you make him feel bad. Bitch, if you don't get your motherfucking ass to that lake house and get in there and take a seat in the fuck section in the kitchen, bitch, that's just ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And I just clocked that on her. And I was like, I don't know about you, Cynthia. You have to sit your motherfucking ass down. I'm going to have to get you soon if you don't quit it. Anyway. So later on, they go and they do this free fall. Child, that's some shit I would never do. I ain't jumping off of shit. I ain't zip lining down nowhere. I'm too motherfucking big to be jumping off of shit and thinking some motherfucker going to leverage my weight. No God. That's the only one that I actually trust to leverage my weight is God. And he ain't wearing no harness. And he ain't told me to get up on nothing to jump my fat ass off. And I'm not. Okay? Anyway, not on purpose anyway. Some shit's going down, some shit burning up, and I got to jump off. I'll do that. But not in the name of recreation. I ain't jumping off the shit. No God. No. Anyway, so it was funny that, they were doing it, the ones that were going to do it. And y'all know I don't do Porsha. But I actually got a little teary-eyed when Porsha jumped off because you could see she wasn't acting. She was really scared. And even though she felt as though she was controlling the fear and tackling it, when she jumped off, that bitch had a second thought like a motherfucker all the way down. She said, ooh. That bitch went in. I got a little tear for Porsha. That bitch got to the ground. She went down. Her legs folded like an old deer. She looked like Bambi on ice. Her little legs folded up out of here. She went to a sitting position. I said, I know you want to kiss the ground, bitch. Go on and do it. Poor thing. That was terrible. That was terrible. That's the last time I'll probably get a tear for you because I'm going to tear your ass up in a minute. So just keep on watching. I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to get your motherfucking ass. Just keep watching. Anyway, so then after that, they're doing the dinner and they're sitting there waiting. And Marlo, that damn Marlo, shows up. Now they are out in the damn woods. First of all, Kenya and Cynthia got gowns on. I'm like, really, y'all? Okay, they're like maxi dresses, but surely Cynthia's had the boobs out, had some little sparkles on it. Overdressed to be in the middle of the woods. Everybody else had on shorts and shit. Marlo showed up, baby, with thigh highs, baby, and a motherfucking fur, a short fur. She looked real cute, but the bitch looked like she was going to the club. I said, child, she was giving you the Great Gatsby in the woods, honey. I said, work, Miss Marlo, honey. And they was laughing at her, Kiki, and the bitch was sipping champagne. Marlo's just Marlo. She's just overdone, and she does it to be ridiculous because she knows she's ridiculous. She revels in her ridiculousness, and that's why I like Marlo. I just think she's funny because she's so unnecessary. Such a fucking drag queen. I love it. Anyway. So Kenya and Marlo actually made up. They made up. They squashed the beef for the most part, but then they shaded each other at the end. And Kenya's like, "Now see, you had to do a little back pat, a little back smack on it and all that." She's like, yeah, "But I just got you before you got me." Sure enough, they shaded each other. But anyway, so they're cool. Then Marlo says, "Well, I think after I say this, uh, somebody, Sheree may be mad at me, but." There's some things going on. Everybody's here. We're all seeming to be having a good time. And Porsha had talked about how good of a time she was actually having with the women and all of that. And it felt really good and she wanted to continue. And Marlo said, everything's nice, but there's still some fake shit going around. There's somebody at the table who is actually spreading rumors about one of the other women at the table. And I don't think they know about it. I think they need to know. And Sheree may be mad at me, but I'm just going to say it. So they're like, girl, who? What? What are you talking about? And she said, Candy. And Candy was like, oh, God. What now? She'll say, are you a lesbian? And Candy's face was like, what the hell are you talking about? So, of course, she defended herself. She's like, no, honey, I love my husband. And then in her confessional, she said, I assure you, I love my husband and I love his dick. Okay, Candy, but that doesn't mean anything. You still haven't answered the question. But anyway, so like I said earlier, the easier question would have actually been to be, uh, who the hell at the table here doesn't enjoy snacking on some pussy every now and again? Raise your hand, honey, and see how many hands would have went up. I truly believe, only maybe 2 hands might have went up if they were being honest. Anyway, lesbonics. Anyhow, so they're going through all of this, and Candy's like, okay, well, you have to tell me now. And Sheree's like, Marlo, like that was a private conversation. I can believe you. She's like, oh, well, it's out there now. So Candy's like, yeah, so tell me who said that. She's like, Marlo, she said, I don't know about that now, Candy. And Sheree's like, well, I really, you know what? Let's just do this. Why don't, whoever the person is that said it, why don't you just come on out and say that you said it? You know what I mean? And they got to go. And Porsha really was doing the most. I said, girl, you are the queen of the back pedal and the pussy poppers, honey. My calves had gotten tired from this scene, from watching that motherfucking Porsha backpedaling and pussy popping. It made my calves tired, okay? Bitch, you're a punk ass and you are just ridiculous. She sat over there, she said, oh, who said that about Candy? This, that, thing, the. She went on for 15 minutes. And meanwhile, it was her. Her and Porsha. Her and Phaedra. Phaedra ain't said a word yet. Phaedra sat right under there, right over there, and let Porsha go right up under the bus. Porsha kept trying to. She's like, well, I was just shading. Anything I was being shaded. I don't even remember the conversation. They kept flipping back and forth. This shit went on for the last 15 minutes of the program. It made Porsha look like shit. You are absolutely you're useless, and you're a liar. I mean, because the thing, it didn't even come across as, she tried to put it off on a couple different things. Oh, I was being mad and I was shading, so you can't take that, for real, because I was being shady. I was mad. And then, but everybody else be doing that too. Girl, stop that pussy popping. You did it. And that ain't nothing that you actually do. And then there's more to it, bitch. You were underhanded and you cut her. You knew things about Candy and her bisexuality, because that she ain't gave it a title, but that's what it is. Her bisexuality. And you threw that shit out there into the atmosphere, which was completely out of order. It's always out of order to out anyone, whether it be male or female. It's out of order. But bitch, that's what you did. That's what you did, you long-haired motherfucking bitch. You outed Candy, and you just left some of the details off. And then you turn it around, now you want to play victim. Girl, you backpedaling and pussy popping. And then the thing is, it's so stupid because y'all done something. That's why I know what you did. And then you're still leaning in with that confessional tomorrow. She don't know my business, but I know hers. And Candy's giving very much of, yeah, I know her business, honey. She keep thinking I don't know her, but I know her business. Then when later on when Candy said, when she get drunk, she's an aggressive lesbian. So I'm getting that Candy might like being snacked on, but when you get drunk, bitch, you go from liking being snacked on to snacking. You a snacker yourself. You a mean old motherfucking bitch with a battery backpack on the back of your tongue. A mess. A mess, honey. Whew. It's too much. It's too much. And Phaedra, no respect for you at all. You sat over there and you were, she was just as nervous and then she was just as quiet. You over there, and from where I'm looking, Phaedra, what I'm seeing is a punk ass motherfucking snake in the goddamn dirt. A snake. You're a snake. But I think Candy gonna get y'all all together, and I am so here for it. Because at first I was kind of like, Candy, I don't know about how you kind of going now, but yeah, I see what's going on, and I see who she's dealing with. She know who she's dealing with. She need to go right ahead on and air all you bitches dirty laundry and drag you all's ass all through Bravo land, honey. That's what she need to do, and I'm here for it. Because as soon as she do it, I'm gonna drag you all the way through YouTube land. So come on, Candy, drop the nuggets so we can get going, girl. We don't want to take all day. Hurry up and get back to me so we can go head on and drag these hoes. All that motherfucking backpedaling and pussy popping. Got no motherfucking respect for you. Like I said, fuck you, Porsha, bitch. You got my goddamn calves hurting from all that backpedaling. See y'all next week.